Wake up. Okay. All right. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream. I totally hundo peef remembered that this was happening today, and I didn't, because we had so much on Monday, get them like I thought, like expecting to have it Monday. Essentially, we did not. But, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? We are here. I am a little cluttered mentally because I would spend a whole day reading the book and writing, making notes, and trying to cement it to memory and whatnot. So yeah, normally I have the editing excuse of like my brain's just mentally drained. This one, it's just like there's too much in my head right now. You know what I mean? It's like I'm packed. It's anxious almost. But how has y'all's days been? We have Fluffy. We also have Lone Syndicate saying, "GRINN, my friend, how are you today?" How are you, Lone Syndicate? I just finished chugging my coffee because I was kind of in a coma state. You know what I mean? Also, I was gonna. Well, I'll wait to bring this up because I think this is kind of a fun thing, but it's also a little bit interesting, I think, to talk about with y'all. But, ladies and gentlemen, I wish we had something more spectacular to do. We're just grinding the gear. Yeah, sorry. I still have yet to get one of the spells that I really want to get to see if it can actually make a huge difference in our melee build, even though our melee build already had a really good spell. So yeah. But yes, Lone Syndicate says your character's wrist is bent awkwardly. I'm about to say it's about to fuck his whole shit up. That's the worst way to throw a sword, just completely. I don't know, dude. I think it's supposed to stay. Yeah. Ashley says nothing. She just does a thing and then just concussed against a wall. How are you, Ashley? I haven't been able to catch up with you in a hot minute. Also, it's still middle of the night shit. Oh, Ashley. Fluff says, I'm doing all right. Joined a modding clan exile. Oh, no, sorry. Joined a modded Conan Exile server by one of my brother's friends. It's been fun thus far. That Conan game, it looked really cool, man. But a lot of those games, to me, I find they lack that magic of kind of sounds weird, but the magic of Minecraft. You know what I mean? That kind of idea that there's so much they keep adding to it. There are new phases to it. Granted, they haven't done that for a while in Minecraft or whatnot. But with all those Conan kind of games, with one exception to being Ark, I've never seen one game have so much pumping of content as Ark. Granted, Ark I think is in a better place now, but it used to be really beginning heavy is an understatement. It's not beginning heavy, sorry, so beginning light. So the end game is jacked, but everything to that is emaciated and dying. So you're how the hell do I play? And then you eventually dedicate 20 hours to figuring out that you're in the end game. You're this is amazing, but I think that beginning part actually got roughed, shined out essentially. Fluff says, oh no, I read that. Ashley says, nah, slam into the wall, more like it. What do you mean? What do I say? Shove? Slam? What do you mean? What does that mean? What is the difference between what I said and slam? What is that? It's where you get pressed and you just get on a wall. Ashley says, God, you should try Valheim. I've seen a lot from. I've seen that was one of those games that popped off hugely, was number one on Twitch for a hot minute, and then I've never seen it again. So I don't know what that's about. Also, I guess we could jump in and actually play because it's just us hitting a wheel. That's what I was about to say. So, I do want to get. So I'm busy. Just to not hold back. I'm busy, real busy. I'm sure you're also busy. I appreciate you guys taking the time to hang out with me, but. I'm really busy right now, so I want to get to a point where we can actually start treating our streams almost like content itself, rather than it kind of being what it is unfortunately been. I feel our streams were the best when you're playing a Dying Light and doing drop kick only challenge and stuff like that, something that is interesting as a pull itself. Right now, I don't think any of our streams are really doing that, but they're mechanically not. I'm not making them do that. So I really want to have streams where we actually have objectives, goofy fun things that are fun to grind through, etc. But right now, it's been a lot of me slamming together weird things. So I appreciate you guys giving me the grace period to kind of show you that I can make something cool. Granted, we kind of did that in the past a little bit, but yes, I am in a place right now where I kind of have to merge the grind of Borderlands in with the like good hangout time that is supposed to be streams. So I want to get to a point where we can separate them, but right now we are not at that point. I'm far too busy and I have way too much information to still intake, and I hope that slows down eventually. Yeah, like I'm basically reading a book right now that I'm like, fucking get through it already, me. And just so I can get to the next book, which I think will be actually very beneficial for me, because it's the book about YouTube, and all that stuff. And I've heard nothing but good things, so yes. But be patient with me. This week I'm going to try to burn through that one book. I don't know if I'll have as much, like, you know how I always make, like, hey, I read a book review. The book I'm currently reading is, like, to me, it's either, like, the most incomplex, irrelevant thing ever, or it is like the most complex, hard to articulate and describe the mechanics going on, because it's kind of like storytelling and like a principle. So it's like, here's a principle, here are many stories in which this principle is dictated to show it has value and why it is a principle that most people have. But that can be like, it's a principle, got it, and then you walk away. Or you're like an idiot, like myself, who's like, well, what's the levels of this principle? Let me think up 1,000 encounters of what the principles and how long it takes to break. And then it just becomes like a 1-hour chapter becomes 5 days or something horrible. And there's 10 chapters and I'm on chapter 4. Kill me. Anyways. Also, we have 2K now. We have 2K points to spend, baby, because our boy Charlie helped us grind some good old souls. What is good, Beastie? Beastie, how have you been? Also, Beastie, I've always wanted to ask, what is the image that is your profile picture? It looks like a bunny person made something? I'm not sure, frankly. It looks like someone's doing bunny ears whilst wearing bunny ears, which is, I know, bunny hop whilst wearing bunny. That's what it is. That's what's happened. I don't know what anime it's from, though. Or maybe it's just a cartoon. Who knows? I'm curious, though. Fluff says, the mods add RPG elements, factions, magic, and other fun additions. So it's going to be good. It's going to be a good time. Interesting. I guess that's, yeah, I think Ark Survival Vault also had that, like, a mod scene blow up. So I guess, man, if that's one thing that developers could, like, really nail down, I don't even think Bethesda, before it had all this weirdness, had that limitation on it of like kind of making mods weird. But I feel like if they could ever nail that symptom, that idea of like, okay, here's a mod kit, here's the place in which you can sell them or like give them away for free, etc. Then I think it'd be great, because you essentially do the live service thing, but instead you obfuscate it to your community, it's kind of like an economy. So it's like an economy of value, meaning if people want to get endorsements or like monetary incentive by creating something that they want, or just want to create something that others want, they'll know and pay attention to what aspect of the community is not getting fed, or just what they deeply want in the game, and then they'll pursue that, and then odds are they're not the only one who wants that thing, and then it kind of creates this economy type feeling. I just feel like the companies don't want to do that because they have no idea how to capture the value generated in that way. And I don't know how to do that either, frankly. I think I said it once at some point when I had like an idea of how you would make like a modding economy, essentially, but I don't remember what it was. Probably should have wrote it down. Anyways, probably wasn't that good, but yeah. Lone Sing, it says, my day was good, though it was slow at work. I found a new song to listen to and also finished my light novel. I have made it to season 2, episode 6 of Quintessential Quintuplets. You've been busy. That's a lot, actually. You finished your drawing, you did this, you had a slow day at work, but you found a nice song to listen to. Golly. I'm curious, though, Cindy, if it's not too personal, what does your day in your job look like? Is it like, because when I experience or see someone say a slow day, I wonder what that means. Because for me, like, if you were like a cashier, that means like less people coming in, you have to interact with. You're basically standing until all day. Maybe you have a stool, you sit down real quick, and then you're like, oh, fuck a person. You just stand up, try not to look lazy, or something. I don't know what does that mean to you. I'm curious, just to have something in my head when I understand what you mean when you say it's not a very action-packed day. maybe try V Rising Grin. It's only $16, so yeah, for you though, you got them British fucking conqueror money, okay? Us some northern people, ugh. I think that's probably a $30 for me, actually, which is unlucky. Although I don't know what's going on with Japan. Japan's getting like railed. Its dollar dropped drastically. I don't know what, and like that happened in like a 2-month span, so golly. Fluff says, Valheim and Conan would probably be more of his style survival game. The Rising is neat, but I know he's not much into the ice. Exactly, it's a top-down game is a little weird for me. Granted, to me, I think there's a version of that game that I wouldn't dislike. I'm not sure if I'd love it, because essentially, I kind of want right now, that's just why I'm like, hurry up and come out already, Saints Row, but I really want like a conquest game. You know, either that or like a building on top of itself kind of game. Like, you know, like Don't Starve. Don't Starve. Stardew Valley is kind of like it, except Stardew Valley seems way too like there's no stakes. You know what I mean? There's also a sheep game that we checked out a while ago on Saturday stream, when we were just watching a clip of it. God damn, air bubble, get out of my chest. But no, that one game looked interesting too. But that's kind of the game, even if it's like top-down, weird kind of thing, I still want that kind of game. I'm not sure if I want like my live, like RPG, action-packed, you know, dodge at the right time, use a spell at the right time, cooldown spam, blah blah blah, as a top-down isometric game. You know what I mean? But I do crave like a conquest/building game, so where you start with nothing and you genuinely build. Although I always feel like those games have a cap. Like it's almost like, okay, you have a shed. Okay, now you have now you have a castle, you know, but I wish there was companies that made like, what is the game that did that? Oh, fuck me. What is it called? It's basically like you have a crap something, like it's a terrible house, or like it's like a, hey, like let's make some money. You put down like a farming area, like a stable essentially, to like breed livehood or what, livestock, that's what it's called. And you can go up to, and it basically starts as like a one-dimensional super tiny hut, but then you go up to it and you like hit up, and it upgrades the thing and spends money, but then it like has a quick flash essentially, and like a bunch of god rays shoot out of the fucking wood itself, and then it levels up to its next tier. And when you're like, okay, dude, I'm gonna be grinding, or if the game is procedural in the background, just cooking, like constantly giving you little payouts of money, and then you come back and you have like 10K and everything costs $500, then you just go up to things and just go, and you just see a bunch of flash, and you just, it's, I don't know why. To me, that's so satisfying. It's like the most like, holy shit, I can't handle it. I'm killing it. It's like dopamine release. So I really crave that kind of game, man. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna get it anytime soon. I would love if I could, but I don't know. Yeah, because I'm sure that's out there, but I'm not sure if there's anything that has the depth that goes beyond indie. You know what I mean? Like indie games are great, but they tend to have huge limitations on their investments, essentially. So they have to like that's what I mean by like, upgrade 1, upgrade 2, maybe upgrade 3, but that's basically it. And it's also like not made to be a thing that constantly keeps feeding in on itself, you know? Like almost like the idea that you could make even more money and have like a super end game like hut or house or gold statue that could be your like carrot on the string to keep going, because there's always a clear like, you've bought everything. Stop it. Essentially. So if they can have that long journey, that like if you could just keep having incentives to go even harder and make even more money. It's almost like everything could be grabbed in this bit. Like 80% of the items could be attained within this like bracket of income. But using all of the brackets of income that you could kind of give to yourself would get you stupidly higher. And that's about like, that can give you the rest of the maybe 15%. But then there's still a little bit left. And that little percent is for the people who just want to stream, hang out, and just chip away at that shit. And just grind, little by little, bop, bop, bop. I feel like a game that did this so well, it unintentionally was Fable. Fable 2, you could like sit there and like, it sucked at first. You'd either do a bunch of quests, or you would make a bunch of pies, or like make a bunch of beer, and there was like these weird mini games that you could do to make money. And then you'd buy a bunch of the houses, and then slowly but surely those houses would give you income, and then you'd buy more houses. I want like a finance game, I guess, but not like boring like a finance game. I want to be able to go somewhere, do something, you know. Anyway. But what was the other thing? So it would start off really slow and Fable, but then eventually would like rev up. But also your skill in like making pies essentially would just get fucking cooked. Would get super good. And yeah. That's the game I want, right? That's something that I would accept an isometric version of. But I don't know if any of them exist to the extent in which I want to find them. Also, I don't know where like that would be. It's one of the things that's hard about finding something is you're like, what is that called? How would I find it? God damn it. Why did I talk about this? Because now I'm excited and I'm going to be spending 20 hours trying to find this stupid game that doesn't exist, or it's 5 years old, nobody cares, and I can't play video games that nobody cares about. Actually, that's not true. We played a game that very few people cared about, and then they became caring about it, and then videos did well. Beezy says, hey, it's pure adorableness is what it is. It's pretty cute. I agree with that. And I am not entirely sure where it came from. I was a cute and I just slapped it on, all honesty. Yes, I was about to say. It's like, it's fucking the best. That's why. Also, maybe I don't know where it came from. Shut up. Love says, tends to help keep those survival games going while past an official dev cycle. Conan is the first full expansion recently. Released a full expansion recently called Isle and Sifat. But otherwise, most DLCs just adds building systems. Yeah, man. See that to me ain't it. Like I get that was the one thing that I think Ark did. I talk about Ark a lot, but Ark was to me the one of those games I was like the most close to getting into. I just watched a bunch of Let's Plays so basically because it was easier to watch someone to have fun with the game than to buy in essentially to the extent in which others did. But what do you call it? Yeah, that was one of the things where you could like upgrade your like thatch wall a bunch. Like it had like 15, I think, evolves, and then you could also just rip it all down and just put steel. Like there was different tiers to everything. Although I feel like that tier shit always fucks me up. Oh, also that was what it was. Fortnite Save the World. That's what it was. That had that like you could take your like resources of metal and just upgrade one wall like 100 times, and it would only become like marginally better, but it all had like different skins of like fortification. Decoration and themed with weapons and armor. Also, Fluff says V Rising is around $20 US, so probably close to 30 in Canadian. Yeah. I thought. Dude, quick, clown math. BC says I bought Conan when it first came out. When it was spotlighted on the PSN store, worth $60. I even spent only. I spent only. So you still only put an hour into the game, but you spent $60. Pain. That's always how it hurts, man. I think the same thing when you're like the idiot who's like, I'm gonna love this game forever. I'm super excited for it. You buy in 100% in the hype, and then you buy the game, $60. For me, it's $80, and then you're like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna play this game a lot. I'm gonna buy the season pass, and then you're just like, you know what? It was not as addictive as it may have should have been in order for me to go this hard. And yeah. Fluff says, oh yeah, it's much better on PC, but still an iffy game in terms of performance. I was about to say, it always seemed like a game that never really found its footing in terms of stability. But it did have the iconic Booba and PP waving around. That was like its main selling point. I remember seeing everywhere. Lindsay says, my job is a membership associate at a gym. Oh, fuck yeah! At a gym, so my job involves helping members with their memberships and answering any questions they may have that involves both over the phone and in person. Oh, I didn't even know that, Lois. I thought you were doing like an internship thing, but that's awesome. That's fucking legit, dude. Oh, that's so cool. You must see so many characters then coming into the gym, getting fucking swole, trying their best. People who are like doing weird like shit as well, maybe. I'm not sure if are you in there like, you seem like you're at the secretary, like you're telling people about memberships, okay? That seems like one hell of a job. Also, it's like, it's one of the weird professions. I feel like your job is pretty secure because people always need that kind of thing. Not the memberships per se, but the thing. But also, the gyms need the memberships to keep the gyms going, all this stuff. Losing it says, so a slow day for me is not many people coming to me for help, or that many people calling on the phone for me. Oh, okay, I see. That seems like pretty chill then. Do you have like a, are you allowed to go on your phone or something? Because I feel like with that job, they're like, yeah, like we're not gonna, some jobs are weird. Like if you work at like a 7-Eleven, sometimes they're like, you need to be attentive the whole time. And it's like, people are here to get their smokes, maybe some beer, maybe some snacks. They're like in a hoodie and fucking sweatpants, my guy. I don't know if they're gonna judge me for sitting on a chair and then going, oh, there's a person here. I hear a ding. I get up off the chair and I help them, you know? But people be weird. People be weird. Bosses be weird. Bosses have weird expectations for their employees where they don't have them for themselves. So usually, sometimes. It depends on the boss. Ooh, that's really interesting, Lone Snake. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, that's such a fun thing to think about in terms of like the people you would see, the kind of encounters you would have. Yeah. I always feel like a job like that, though, is just, feels like it'd be harmonious. You know what I mean? Like it'd just be like something that is nice to do. Not like easy, but just something that, like, you know, to me, there's certain levels to like professions or things like that where like, do I want to be like the 5th in the organization? Do I want to work my way up? And that one just seems like it's one of those ones where it's like, no, it does. I do what I do. I get paid, and I get out, and it's pretty chill. Losing is also, wait, no, I missed some comments. BC says, I should try it again, actually. Try to beat it. If it's going to sit uninstalled forever, I should at least beat it. Yeah, man, that's one of the things. To me, I have that hope, Beastie, but I'm in like a weird thing where I'm like, any time that I spend doing anything that's not like helping with YouTube or like making content that could be fun, it's like a little bit of a judgment thing over my head of like, you could be doing that. And I'm like, okay. But also I'm starting to learn that it's probably best not to devote yourself too hard into one path because you'll melt essentially. You'll break. You won't be inspired. You'll need to go and experience the world and then come back and then be like, holy shit, a moment of clarity, of interest, of divine intervention, of an idea. Balone Singing says, also, Grin, speaking of busy, I'ma start my next drawing tomorrow since I'm off before doing so. Looking up some videos on how to do proper fucking coloring. Love it here. Oh, and coloring of hair. Hell yes. Hell yes. Lone Syndicate. Lone Syndicate, I feel like, what do you call it? The one that would terrify me, like if you were ever to get to the next stage of drawing, there's a stage, I'll never forget it. I used to do this thing, I used to always listen to music in the morning and then go on to Art Station, I believe was what it was called, and just like flip through the newest rated stuff and just see a bunch of like eye candy. Just like some crazy vistas, some cool badass armors, a lot of them women in bikini kind of armor, but you know, it is what it is. And then you like some badass knight armor, but I never forget what I seen. And to me, it was like the best subliminal, like subtle, like flex of like complete art annihilation, essentially. But it was like this fighter. It was like this fighter that was taking like a picture from the back. And I think he was like wrapping gauze, like he was, yeah, like just a fight, wrapping gauze around his hands. But the dude who drew him drew like the most spectacular, fucking jacked, but not too jacked, back I have ever seen. Like you could see the individual muscle striations, but it wasn't yucky. It was like perfectly shaded to where you're like, what the fuck has happened? And then of course I went on like a little thing where I looked at all of like, that's insane. Like like if you stop, take a minute, you actually look at it and you're like, what the fuck? Just the level of detail, but like the subliminal subtleness to not make it like grotesque or like some sort of like, oh my god, this person needs to eat a sandwich because he has 0 body fat percentage. No, it just looked really good. So what do you call it? I went on like a thing looking at all that, and to see that there's like the way that they map those out is super weird. Like you have to basically do like an anatomy class essentially, like know the muscle fibers here and how they interact with this. Woof. But that was one that I think it's crazy how there's so many levels to art that like knowing the muscle striations, but also knowing the tempering of those like crazy striations to not make some sort of grotesque Hulk monster, but instead to make something that just looks aesthetic. But that's its own unique way, you know? Madness. Also, do you think these are despawning because there's so much on screen? We're lagging a little bit, but that's what it is. BC being sport, would love to see it. Fluff says, great. Now I miss Save the World. Yeah, man, me too. Well, Save the World, man, could have been even better. I feel like if they really made your base kind of better, because it was like way too pricey to level up your house, or at least to me. I was trying to do a thing where I wanted to make my house, like, I built like a square cube, but I just wanted to make that cube like the best possible mineral I could. But it was like insanely hard to do that. Like, it costed so much like runs of resources to do that. I will say Save the World had a weird difficulty spike. Like, it never felt like Borderlands, where when you finally hit the right frequency, you're like, fucking let's go. It kind of felt like you're like, this character's kind of okay. Like, it felt really scattered, you know? Yeah, like little, like, I want more. Like, almost if like Save the World had like a Genshin like swapping between characters, and they do kind of like general good, like you could have 3 instead of 4, that to me would like help with that feeling of feeling like this character kind of doesn't do anything with this with this kind of group of activities. Ugh. You know, same thing with the base building. Like, if they made that intricate, if they gave you some sort of like I were talking about like some sort of, you build it and it feeds you, rather than just being like a resource suck. If it kind of produced something so it was worth building, you know, that to me I think would be nice for Save the World. Also, I think Beastie said something like, there was a Save the World. Beastie says, I want to learn how to draw. I found an old sketchbook I had from a while ago, and you've been inspired. Yeah, man, drawing is one of those things where I feel like, ooh, how do I say it? I think like inspiration is like the spark of talent, I guess. But it's also one of those things where I think you need a lot of inspiration for drawing. Like, I think the extent in which you need to develop a skill is different across the board. You know what I mean? I think like the extent of inspiration that you need to pursue, like when you're a kid, pursue making enough money to buy something. It's pretty, you can be inspired enough to be like, okay, I'm gonna get this job, it's gonna suck, but I'm gonna be able to buy the things I want, we're good. You know, if you want to be inspired in such a way that you want to learn how to be like shoot a basketball, or like you like basketball, you want to pursue that, there's a certain degree of talent or a certain degree of inspiration that will help you see that. Drawing is one of those things that seems like a lifetime of getting your ass kicked. And you need to get inspired constantly. You need to just you need to hunt inspiration. Because I feel like it's like we were talking about, there's like 50,000 layers of drawing of like muscle fibers, like the bone proportion, like general physical structure proportion, shading, shadowing, food. You want to draw food? You gotta fight the whole fucking thing. And of course, with one phase of it, like one layer deep, you get better at other stuff. So it's like if you learn like shadowing, layering, it seems like it helps with all kind of shadowing and all kind of layering, just different principles that you can take into the future. But Jesus Christ, Beastie, to me, it's one of those things where I like, woof. Drawing is one of those things where I will always be like, I can only choose 2 things in my life. Editing, performing, commentating, and like business YouTube-y stuff. Nothing is left in terms of my energy production, which sucks a little bit. But here's what it is. I'm trying to add the YouTube like production aspect to it, okay? On the topic of that, by the way, before I get too ahead of myself, I was gonna say the thing that I knew would happen, boys. So essentially, we made 2 new channels. And that's where we're kind of trying to, get the ball rolling. I'll be honest, I haven't really done as much as I should have done with them. I'm kind of still in like the guppy phase, which is why I'm also slowing down. Like, I want to produce a lot on that channel and get production up, but I'm also wanting to make sure I have as much knowledge to succeed as I can. It's like, and before you embark on a grand adventure into the unknown, best prepare so you're not like stuck in the woods, starving, alone, and close to dead. You want to bring as many tools as you can, kind of idea. Campsite, campfire, all this stuff. So I want to do that, so that's why it's also a little bit delayed on that. But we have these new 2 channels. None of them have monetization yet. Also, I don't know, can somebody quickly look up for me what is the requirement to attain monetization on YouTube? I know like you have to have a certain amount of subscribers, but I don't know what the amount of views or watch time is. Someone could do that for me really quick. I'd appreciate it greatly. But I just want to say that I I've been making like the same amount of money on like almost all of my years of YouTube. I don't think I'm allowed to say it, so I'm gonna shut up. But I knew that after the Borderlands builds and the other videos we upload in the simultaneous month, where we got like, we usually get, what is it, fucking 200 views, maybe? Generous. We went from 200 views to the odd 1,000 to 30,000, kind of consecutive. So that's like 30,000 is what I make overall in like 2 months, you know what I mean? So I was like, oh, this month, and YouTube even says, hey, this month's looking crazy. And I'm like, okay. And that was the month that I chose to make 2 new channels. And I'm kind of like, okay. So I was ready for this fucking gut punch, and it's like the most awesome. I'm excited. It's a yield that tells you that you're on the right track. But at the same time, it's also like, oh, yikes. Next month, little dicey. Probably not going to be as good. And it's kind of like this, it's like an actualization of momentum being stopped in a way. Maybe it keeps on. I'm going to upload some Let It Die videos, which is not my intent to like make those the new norm here. But yeah, anyways, I just thought that was kind of funny and odd. But anyways, yeah, so now then, like, to me, it's like, it's a 50-50. I knew this was going to happen, but at the same time, it's kind of like, damn it. All of this, this momentum we've built kind of dissipated. Although, the last Let It Die video did shockingly well. I thought the Let It Die, like, tweeted it. No. That video got 20, that took that video at 20K. What the fuck? Even my previous Let It Die videos didn't get that much. Maybe they did, and I just haven't checked. We haven't played the game for 2 years, so maybe people have watched the playlist of the old videos, and yeah, who knows? It says, too bad all the work for Save the World got stopped and it's no longer being supported, and don't think ever, even the campaign is really. That's super shitty to hear. I thought the campaign would at least conclude. Alone Singer says, that would be my other line of work, GRINN. I am also in an intern, and the phone thing is weird. As long as the head big boss aren't in the center, I can be on my phone as much as I want for the most part. Gotcha. Got to posture a little bit. Gotcha. Makes sense. Love it. Love it, by the way. The perfect amount of yeah, man, that's the best way I could say it. Like, sometimes it's like a little much. Like, you look like you cannot subsist. Like, you would have to eat 2 cows back in the day to subsist. And are you a whole village? No. Stop it. So yeah. So yeah. I watch video or animes. I watch your video or anime. Sometimes your videos are good for passing the time. By the way, when things are slow, GRINN. Also, that's where I do most of my reading at my desk. Or sometimes I might just sit and listen to some music just to pass the time. I feel like those book reading is pretty good, man. Yeah, books reading. As much as, like, I don't want to be the guy, but I think podcasts are genuinely, like, are pretty good for a lot of things. Like, I don't think I would be nearly as, like, passively conversationable if I didn't listen to podcasts and have, like, a bunch of useless as hell information about 1,000 people being interviewed, and I wouldn't be nearly as, like, able to roll with some goofy fun bro nonsense if I didn't listen to a bunch of comedian podcasts that also gave me that thing. So, like, podcast is a way to always, like, passively learn, for me at least. Which I find helpful. but yes, if you ever needed, like, listening to music is lovely. But I'm also kind of like, to me, if you have a little bit of time and you could, like, I feel like the podcasting is just one of those things where you're actually, it's like reading a book almost, like a helpful book or a master class in something, you know. It's like a very discount version of a master class, but still something. Also, this is a absolute mess. But, you know, give me that. There's so many threads that I have to just read here somewhere. Oh, God. Why have you done this? Where is it? Also, I seen someone pop in, by the way. Ricky, what's good, Ricky? Ricky said, hey, bro, I need some friends to play Wonderlands with. I'm playing solo ever since. I've played solo ever since. Oh, Ricky. I apologize, Ricky. We're grinding. We're grinding this. One day we will play together. That's always our Saturday stream, my guy. But normally we play a lot of Tiny Tina's Wonderland together, just cause it's a very good co-op game. But we are still grinding for the damn DLC weapons, because your boy has not gotten all of them to drop, and I have yet to find a save file where a very convenient little saucy person in the community has somehow provided all of them in Primordial with the best stats imaginable. Yes, I have not found that save file yet, although I would love to feign ignorance for how that happened. Okay. Did this. Ooh, we got Bonk. Okay. Oh my, that's actually, oh, if only it had an element, but that's not bad at all. That's got Echo on it. Golly. Let's drop Bonk. Let's drop this. I guess we could drop everything. We're just kind of, yeah, forgot. We just need to make a lot of space. I see it. There's a thread here. If only we could just like toggle, hey, only give me the legendaries. Or if there's a way to bat around other weapons. Especially with it, like, you can save your loot kind of thing, and like a, hey, you missed this loot kind of stupid storage box thing. Why? Let me like bounce it off a hill and be fine, you know? That's a little bit too much faith, honestly. But still, we're in such a place where legendaries feel so hollow a little bit that it's a little bit undesirable. Also, I still need to make that video about talking about Wonderlands. I've kind of put it off because, I don't know, dude. Like, after the DLC thing, I'm actually kind of, I don't know. It's like, I'm actually happy. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited to play right now. You know what I mean? Whereas beforehand, I was kind of like, what the fuck, dude? This is just an absolute, sorry to say it, but shit show. Like, it's just like, I'm like, I don't know why I'm not incentivized. I'm not interested in doing this. And now at least this is, ooh, okay. Sorry, it's a little bit like carrot on the stick a little bit for me. You know, I can kind of get down with this. I can like, ooh, this is something like that I can pursue. We can do every stream. We didn't just have all of the gear immediately. Granted, maybe that's better so that we can start working on builds, because I think a lot of people are already doing that. And, you know, your boy's going to show up fashionably late to the party. But, you know, it is what it is. There it is. Got it. This. Where is it? Somewhere in there. Did I pick it up? I did. Okay, it's there somewhere. Man, 2K, man, that's a lot. It's a lot of stuff we just picked up. I'm also holding way too much gear in general, but you know. Alright, we will commence looking at our gear in a minute. We're good. Okay, good. Vesper's right there. Okay. Let's talk. Oh, wait, what's this? This probably existed forever, right? No, this looks new. If you're not getting around, you're still standing. What? Critical hits. Rocket 1 crossbow bolt to the nearest enemy. Crossbow bolts deal 8 damage for each crossbow bolt in the target. Bolts last 11 seconds. But you only shoot 1. That's not new? I've never seen this. Why is it white? Well, also, this seems horrible. Like, critical hits, rocket 1. Does it like regenerate the mag, or are you just constantly in like a reload state? It reloads in 1 second, so I guess it's just boom, boom. You know, I guess. Well, okay. Shading. Okay. Also, let me catch up on chat, because I did too much tangents that I'm behind. I talked to some of my coworkers about some different things. Like, we talked about anime, which one we're looking for video games. Hell yes. So BC says, shading itself is such a deep well that I refuse to get into. But there are so many different styles that makes me curious as to how it could possibly change up anything, another drawing. Yeah. Lonski says, as an artist, I can say inspiration is key. Sometimes it slaps you in the face, saying I'm here, and sometimes you have to go look for it. For me, personally, I end up being inspired by a lot of things. I'm getting indecisive about what to draw next, but I have gotten better at it over the years. Rather it be me just picking one or something I put some idea on the wheel and spin and pick one. Interesting. For me, as not necessarily an artist, I wouldn't really quantify myself as that. I would say, to me, I'd say I'm a creator. I like to piece things together and make something. But for me, I kind of have like, yes, inspiration and finding the magic within stuff is awesome, and I agree with that. We talked about that. But at the same time, I do believe that if you were to, someone said something once, and I entirely agreed with it, but it's like, if you were to rather have inspiration or discipline, which one would take you farther? I think discipline, meaning sometimes you're not creative, you're not into it, but you still got to show up. This is also something that I read in a book a while ago called The War of Art, it's called. But basically it talks about like this idea of the muse and inspiration to a larger extent. And this idea of the muse is like a blood god, and her payment is you showing the fuck up. And if you show up enough, she'll eventually award you with this moment of inspiration or clarity. But if you don't show up, you're never going to get paid. You're never going to get this, this kind of feeling. I forget what it's called, but yes. Rickett says, Rickett wants to play. Lone Syndicate says, I've gotten indecisive. I read that as well. The Wheel of Inspiration Club. Yeah, that's cool too, yeah. To me, I feel like there's plenty of times in my life where I've been super not inspired. And just be like Lone Syndicate's talking about, you just doing it, you showing up, you'll find something inspiring, or you'll find something that you could do that it's worth doing. But yes, the way I phrase it, why it kind of throws me for a loop is if I could bet on inspiration or discipline, I think I'd rather have discipline, and I think discipline in a weird way leads you to inspiration, I guess. BC says, Samurai Guy, rocking a fairy wand. Hell yeah, man. Kind of what we are a little bit. Kind of a generalization of our character, yeah. Volatile, Berserker, and Graveborn. We'll keep this. I mean, a chance. We'll keep this. This could be like if we ever try to retool Graveborn and weirdness. Krieg build, we might have a way out. Roll the dice. It's not chaotic, so we're leaving it. We have this. Rain Bolt. If it was volatile, I might consider it. Oh, we have that. Nope. We have this. Dynamo. Ooh. 3 charges. Can Dynamo come with anything? With anything, dude. It's got damage radius, but I'm not sure if it always has that. We'll keep that one. That one's, if it could come in ×2, that'd be huge. In fact, we have 2 Dynamo. We have a lot of Dynamo. Spell damage, radius, and cooldown. What does this one have? Why does this one have less cool? Oh no, this one does have more cooldown. I see. Spell charges. I don't care. Let's move on. Ooh, but this one has Rampage is that one. Oh, Caustic on that thing. Caustic would look so good. Got that. Saw blades. Rings. I can't. Rings are like the most disenchanting thing ever. You get it and you're like, I know it's important, like it's really important, but at the same time it's just like, oh my god. I don't know. So a static increase of damage does not pop me off, you know what I mean? It's the worst way I could say it, but it's true. It's true. Melee damage, gun damage. I need to drink some water because I'm going to fucking pass out and my lungs are going to bleed. Not that. No. Oh, got some helmets. We're not going to use them though. All right, good job, boys. Donald says, this week has been the first week I've done the featured run. Simply because Zomboss is infinitely farmable for crystals. Wait, what? What's Zomboss again? Really? Holy shit. Donald, that seems fucking crazy. How? Do you just die to him and he drops gear? That's mental. Who is Zomboss again? I'm blanking. What's good, Anthony? Good to see you, buddy. How are you? Hope you take care of yourself. Good to see you again. How's your week been? Day, maybe. Week, the beginning of the week. Not great, yeah. Lone Syndicate says, wait, no, I read it. Yeah, Lone Syndicate says, GRINN means that, GRINN means that it always our Sunday stream to play the games. Yeah, exactly. Yes. B says, Samurai Guy records, rather I'll be late and beefy like Chads are. Rather be late and beefy like the Chad. What do you mean? What? What's happening? What do you mean? You don't want to be balanced. You want to just be yoked like crazy. Love says that's not new. It's a near sniper that mind controls enemies. Hit really? Oh, golly, I didn't know that. I had one since before the DLC. Gotcha. I know it looks pretty cool. I've never seen that, but also the HUD is fucking always broken. So I don't think I've ever like zoomed in on stuff that's not what I'm looking for. It reloads quickly. It's a crossbow sniper, so you just do that pull thing, like the quick easy reload. Also, I'm gonna drink my coffee before I pass out. Oh. Lone Syndicate says, GRINN, you never played legendary snipers any mind, and that's why you've never seen it. I know, but I mean, yeah, I guess I feel like it's a judgment. Okay, spells are cooler than guns. All right, I regret nothing. Okay, I've yet to see one like sniper crazy build. With that being said, I do think if they ever released a cut purse, which I think they literally have, they've said they have it in the game, they just have yet to release it. I assume it's going to come out in one of these things. If they release a cut purse, that could be a lot of fun. That could like make a lot of launcher and sniper rifle builds just hundo P percent viable, But yes, we're going to put this away. We're going to put this away. Oh, I'm close to running out of space in my thing. We're going to put this away. Why? Why do I guess I just never... Yeah, we don't want that. It's not that good. We have this. Same thing. Okay, these are just things I forgot to take away. Gotcha. Back out. We're going to reset. Oh, what's good, Cap? Cap says, hello, brother. What's good, Cap? How are you? Hopefully having a lovely day. We'd love to see you, buddy. All that stuff. We have a lot of people who are constant occurring people, which is shocking to me. That people value me even a little bit. Enough to where I'm a part of their semi-schedule. Is too kind. Love you guys for spending some time with me, by the way. Let's back out and load back in. Oh, Oh, Anthony says, but what if your only option where you're either inspiration or discipline would absolutely no gray area? I would absolutely go discipline. Even still, no in between. Hundo P discipline, 100%. For me, that's just because I think eventually you'll show up. Like, to me, inspiration is just another way of saying like thought. Like same thing as if somebody I don't think kindness is very far from just empathizing with another person's point of view. You know what I mean? Like, I think if you you can get there to the same point. And I also feel like there might be plenty of times where if what if you just never get inspired? Or what if you get inspired significantly less? I feel like if I had to make it back, Anthony, I would bet on discipline. For me, just because I feel like inspiration is wonderful, but I feel like it's people. It's like when someone says bless you, or not bless you, like a sneeze, but like may God watch over you. It's like, what does that really mean? I think it's mean people want this divine thing to take care of you. Whereas if someone says like work hard and pay attention, I feel like that's kind of a little bit more like, if we were to say which one has a higher probability of having this person be okay, I feel like that one. That's not it. There's so many more complication aspects to evolving in skill and becoming something, and becoming what do you call flourishing a talent, I guess is what I would phrase it as in some ways. But yeah, yes, complicated. I'm not sure. I kind of go back and forth with Anthony. I'm curious what you think. Also, Donald says, you just die and then repeat and kill him for some more crystals. That sounds awesome. And it's Zomboss? What's Zomboss again? Oh no, Zomboss is the first boss we fight. Okay, yeah. He's actually easy kill too. Interesting. We might do that next part, just to have some fun. I mean, granted, like as much as that's awesome, I'm not gonna take this from you, Donald. But like, I'm feeling like we're gonna get a fucking like anarchy, whatever, mayhem level increase again, and it's just gonna be sad. You know what I mean? But maybe one day they'll do another Zomboss, and by that time they will have not patched it. Maybe possibly. Who knows? And it's pretty good, man. My weekend. Oh, nice. Yeah. What do you get up to? What kind of things catch your eye? You just playing some games? Maybe you're into photography? Maybe you're chilling with some friends? Maybe you went out for some drinks? Maybe you're just like, no, Grin, I just had a nice peaceful, I was in a dark room, I was watching some videos, and that's the peak of existence for me, which I'm talking to myself, by the way. Something so nice about that, especially when you reach fucking chaos. When it's just chaos, everything's happening, and you're just like, you're having to constantly interact with people. You're just like, I just want to get away from me. Okay, not you guys, but I'm talking about like, but yeah, dude, I just had my nephew's party. So nice, such a good kid. So many like fun family members around. But I get 2 hours in, dude, and I am just fucking gassed. I'm like the most drained, and it's like it's weird because it's like my brain. It's not like I'm like talking to everybody, although people come talk to me quite a bit for whatever reason. But but like everyone seems like they're just fine. Like I got a couple extroverts. I think I got a lot of extroverts in my family, frankly. But yes. Woof. Every time we get to a family gathering, I'm always like, I'm like there. I'm always like, I don't want to be the dickhead, and I have like a whatever. I don't want to be the person who's like, I want to leave because I think people will be insulted by it. But it's like, no, I'm about to pass out because I'm exhausted. Okay, I'm sorry. Cap says law GD bro. Yeah. Ricky says just down yourself and then respond. Okay, interesting. So you just keep doing that and then it keeps resetting? You gotta do it with like low money though, right? Although I don't think it's very well, maybe not. Do you get money from spending it on? No. Well, you can get a lot of gear. Yeah, also what is money really useful for this game as well? Yeah. Fluff says it's one of the few legendary snipers that feels efficient with its ammo. Most of the others are burst fire. Yeah, they just deplete the whole magazine. Fluff says, and I do like this effect. So if you have a spare slot in your loadout, I recommend it as utility. Okay, so you just shoot them once and then it kind of like takes control of them. Awesome. I feel like a lot of legendaries in this game are pretty like one to one whatever they do. It's like, hey, this like what is it? It's like this one, they call gluttony. You throw it and you reload and you see like a fucking typhoon happen, you know? And then maybe if you're like, hey, I'm going down more often with this weapon, what's happening? And you look at your health bar, you realize it's ripping a chunk out of your health. Granted, I do think the gluttony actually detonates like health gaining for you in a weird way, to where you're autoimmune if you keep throwing it in a weird way. Anthony says, yeah, it's a double-edged sword. It's great when you have it, but it's not at your back and call, or it's not at your beck and call. You either have it or you don't. Don't laugh my ass up. Watch kids, martial arts. Oh, martial arts. Hell yeah! What kind of martial arts you get into, Anthony? Some gaming with when the kids are and the wife go to bed. Hell yeah! Then I go out for some cigs. Cigs, pop on, use it. Nice, man. Sounds like a fucking relaxing ass time. Also feels like you got plenty of purpose and meaning in your life. Love to hear it. Martial arts, something that feed your ambition. You also got some kids to kick your ass moving. Make sure you're not stopping. But then you also got your games. You got your games. I don't like to hear about the SIGs, but you know, I'm sorry. I want you in this world for longer, Anthony. Selfish thing to say, I know. Flo says, correct. It's a single shot charm effect. Doesn't work on bosses, obviously. Oh, yeah. Well, that was the thing that was so crazy to me, that like for such a long time, they did not touch Flack's his like beast skill, like his capstone. I literally think like it probably, out of all of the things in Borderlands, I feel like it was the least picked class, like trait. because it was just weird. Like you'd have to do an algorithm to like whip a boss, and it was only up for like 8 seconds. And bosses don't just like auto start triggering. Like if it massively increased their attack speed, and it like super surged their damage, but bosses didn't do the same damage that they, because like the bosses did way more or way less damage than you were doing to them in a way, or at least it felt like that. Or I've just never seen a person use that effect, so that was what I deduced, I suppose. But yes. Also, man, that was one of the things that to me, it's like one of those things where it's like I've only ever heard "trust me, bro" kind of thing, but every time I talk about it, like to me, my perspective of it is e-cigarettes. That was one of the things when e-cigarettes were first coming out. Kind of is interesting. When e-cigarettes were first coming out, people were like, no, dude, there's like you get like popcorn lung or something, and you'll do all this, or like you'll fucking blow up in your hand or something, or blow up in your face or something. And if you look at any of these instances, it's like rare versions of people like making their own concoction or some crazy thing. But people were like, just wait, dude. That's what I always heard. Just wait. You'll see how this is a new technology. Well, you're going to get fucking wrecked by this stuff. And I was just waiting. And I was like, okay, maybe they're right. Maybe this is like, this is a new technology. It's a new thing. And I still have yet to hear from anybody about like those things. And not to say there's no negatives. Just pumping anything in your lungs is not ideal, I imagine. But I haven't heard too many of those things where it's actually like, let me rephrase the question. Is it worse than smoking? I feel like we're at a time point where like that came out, what was that? E-cigarettes came out in like, when Titanfall came out, the first Titanfall is when I was hearing about it. That came out when? 2015 maybe? That doesn't sound right. It came out at a place in time. I feel like we got some kickback. We got some things. I don't know. To me, I'm still in the camp that I think it's less bad. But also, people horrified. People do horrible things. Is what I say. People are like making it have like taste like candy and shit like that. I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel like I'm in the camp of like, yeah, let people make their choices. You can jump out a fucking a hill or bungee jump or some shit. You can fucking choose whether you want to slowly murder yourself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Donald says less bad, but yeah, no, I agree. It's still not good. Ideally, you'd have just oxygen. But to me, if this could drastically increase your life percentage by a huge margin, then that, Also, this is something I heard the other day, which is not like a fucking thing for don't like. Yeah, let me finish my train of thought and I'll pad my landing. Apparently, if you want to increase your like vitality, essentially. The best thing that you can do, even if you're smoking or like eating steaks or some hard, or like eating just like shit tons of hamburger all the time, grease, etc. The one thing that you could do to increase your mortality or something like that, is to have a high VO2 max, which is essentially just have a high, like a good heart, basically. Just like get on a tack bike, get on a treadmill, be able to persist and run for a decent amount of time, to where your heart can basically manage with that heavy load. Because, and I think this is the whole point, is that like the number one thing that just killing bitches, just fucking dropping people, all shapes and sizes, you're getting leveled. Heart disease, just wrecking people. Although, is it across the board, or is it just like a US thing? Or a Western thing? Canada's also, chunky. But I wonder how it is in like India, or like Japan. Is it the same thing killing them? Like, is it just like no? You have a little bit of chunky monkey, okay? Chunky monkey disease, okay? Is your heart too much? Okay. I didn't know how to say it, so I just became an idiot, which is what it is. But no, I heard that whole thing about the VO2 max from like a person who's like one of the leading. I don't know, man. It's like a fitness guy. My whole problem is I watch far too many podcasts, and I get like little nuggets that I'm like, that actually makes sense to me. Now maybe it's entirely bullshit, but I'd like to think it like if you pull yourself back, you're like, okay, kind of adds up. But yeah. It says, there are days where I think to myself, should I go back and finish my flag playthrough? Then I say to myself, nah. I'm good. At least for now. Well, I think there was this huge rework, like a redux is what it's called. A redux to Borderlands 3, which, whenever you get that PC, be able to download that bitch. But basically, like, it did something that I think Borderlands, there's also like a redux for Borderlands 2, which just has like, the modding community eventually started cooking, like started running its ass off, and made a bunch of mods for Borderlands 2, which it had for a while, and then those same people eventually was like, all right, let's go to Borderlands 3. And they built up Borderlands 3 again. So where like they readjusted everything. Like Borderlands 2, there's a mod out there which is like the most known one, where like it fixed Krieg smashing himself in the face. I think it gave you the option to like take away Gage's weird reload anarchy thing, and like made it more efficient, and like gave other abilities more value, but simultaneously made like enemies have different ways of attacking and like value structure. So it kind of like rebalanced the game in a beautiful way, which is to me always the thing that's like fucking insane to me. Like, this is the story that I just described to you that's been happening forever. Like, literally forever. Where, like, there is companies that shit themselves. I don't mean to be negative, but they shit themselves. They shit all over everybody. They make a fucking mess of whether it's balance or, like, endgame things or something. Mostly balance. Usually balance. And then there's, like, a guy, like a mod guy who's like, I'll make this work. And then they do. And then they're like, yeah, that's a neat mod. like, what the hire that guy. Like, what the fuck is one guy who rebalanced your entire game and everyone is in consecutive agreement that it's infinitely better than what happened. So what? Why not hire that person? Why not consult with that person? Like, shit. You know, I just think madness. But also, I was thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about how much engineers are fucking huge. Just peak, okay? Engineer, complicated way of saying a person who went to school for a thing that used to be very valued and now is kind of valued in different ways. AKA a person that's good at like problem solving, essentially. I'm not sure if I should say problem solving so much as I should say creating a solution. I feel like that's what engineers be, okay? They're people who were trained in such a way they can find a solution. But I think the one thing that every engineer / every developer, you know, that create a game needs is like a real fucking juice QA tester team. And I don't think they're the same thing. Like for me, I find myself less in the engineering headspace, kind of like ability to look at problems and whatnot. I find I am way more in the QA testing thing, which is like basically the person that like, if an engineer creates a solution, like here's the thing, let's understand how all the variables react, and then we're going to create a solution that can gets us to the point A to point B as fast as possible. What people like me, their brains are more tilted towards the idea of this has a 10% chance to succeed because you haven't accounted for all the ways it can absolutely eat shit and like absolutely fail. Like human beings are not machines that will just do A, B. They'll do A, fuck it, and then they'll die or something horrible. Like a good example is I think an engineer would look at like, okay, let's solve the problem of how to make somebody extremely fit. So then they would look into all of the research and development that has been done in terms of how to get like the best body structure, the best workout, the best musculature, the fastest way possible, all these things. And then they would basically just make a program where you do X, Y, Z. But then the reason why it would like fail is because they haven't considered the fact that there's like damage recovery, there's discipline, there's all of these other like facets that make up your journey of a person taking your course or doing your solution. And I think that's the QA side of things. I think QA in most games is non-existent. I think it's just a bunch of creative people being like, let's do this, let's do that. That's not working. Let's fix this for 5 months. And that's what it is. Not like, well, wait, maybe we should slow down, you know, blanket adjusting all of the legendaries and capping them. Maybe we should actually make them desirable because, you know, these have always been a facet of the game. And in fact, in a lot of the Borderlands games, the one criticism is that the legendaries are too easy to attain, actually. Like in Borderlands 1, they used to be fucking incredibly rare. And they used to be, like, magical when you got them to drop. And yeah, and instead they're like, fuck it, no. We'll give you all of them, we'll make them easier to get. And we will refuse to add variability. Cool. God damn it, I'm still mad about that stupid thing. Anyways, thank you for letting me ramble, guys. Donald says, less bad but not bad. Not good. Yeah, I agree, not good. Donald says, I feel like Flak was the most balanced in Borderlands 3. Yes, but what do you feel about this, Donald? I feel like everything in this world is relative. So like if everyone is arguably really, really crazy, then the character will fall behind. Now that's not to say that Flak wasn't also crazy. Like Flak could like melt bosses with Queen's Call and those kinds of things. But I feel like when you look at Moze, and this is to your point, where like, to me, balance and weaker is the reason why weaker to me is also a fair thing to say is because relative to all the other Vault Hunters, Moze could become an unkillable god with just a grenade, essentially, constantly healing madness. And she could do a ton of damage. She could also regenerate her magazine. She could do splash damage, things. Blah. Amara was just like an elemental demon who could just constantly find ways to heal, and most things would die because she just had CC. She'd just say, stop shooting me, thank you, and murder everything. So she had both survivability and, of course, the ability to do damage. Zane was in a shit place for a while, I'll be honest. I thought Zane was just the most... to me, what I personally find to be like the value structure that I care about the most is whether a character feels clunky or not. And I feel like Zane felt pretty clunky, or at the very least, why? Like, again, lack of QA tests. Like, why is his clone doing nothing? Like, that was something that was existing for such a long time within Borderlands, where every action skill was shit for a long time, with one exception of Flak. Moses terrible. Amara's was kind of good, but it was only good with like ties that bind or some weird thing. So yeah, I don't know. To me, I think when it comes to Borderlands, I think Flak he had a good answers to doing damage, but I'm not sure if he had the best answers to stay alive. But granted, I might be misremembering one of his skills. But only recently, towards the tail end of Borderlands 3, when it started to like really do really expert. They did such a good job, in my opinion, at the end of Borderlands 3 to balance everything out. And a lot of that shows in some ways in Borderlands. Not Borderlands. Tiny Tina's Wonderland, with exception to Clawbringer, which was very weird. But yes, I wonder if they just left Clawbringer in the state because he was like considered to be a support character. So just because they're a support character, they're meant to be shit. If anything, I feel like in games generally, you should make the support character cracked because they're a support character. Like, you should make it a value to be generous and to help your buds when you're playing games. Instead, they're like, no, you're going to do no damage yourself. You're only going to enable others. And it's like, this game is, what? Can I summon a thing that I can buff then? No? Okay, great. Awesome. This game kind of has that Pixies. But it doesn't scale off of Clawbringer stuff. It scales off magic, you know? And also companion damage, Spore Ward. So, weird. I really hope they tease, well, I guess we're still in the beginning of this month, but I really hope they tease soon what the next class would be. Even just some sort of like hey, like some sort of D&D like poetry nonsense that's like relevant to this character. You're like, okay, what could it be? I'm sure people will just deduce immediately what it is, and I'm sure it might be also in the game. I'm sure it's in the code. It says like 3rd class slot, boom, this, or 4th, whatever the fucking next class is. Donald says, as a Moze main, an unkillable god, except by your own speed. Yes, well, dude, hey, Donald, my fellow Moze main, dude, man, Donald, when did it happen for you? Were you day 1 Moze build? Because I was the day 1 Flak person because I wanted to be the Beastmaster, and goddamn did that ever like just not happen. Flak was even at the end of the life cycle of Wonderlands, was still not like the main Beastmaster. It was terrible. I never did that. But then in this game, they did. It's called Pixies. It can be scaled. They're aggressive. They shoot a lot. It's basically like Moses' fucking arc grenade or whatever. But anyway, it's fine. But the moment, man, Donald, that I fucking like lost my shit for like the Moze, I think is the best. This may be a hot take, but Moze, I think, out of all of the characters in Wonderland, or all the characters in the entire Borderlands franchise itself, even in like anything, in terms of like Gearbox's creation, Battleborn, all that stuff, I think she is the best, especially towards the end of Borderlands 3 life cycle, I think she's the best character in terms of optimization. Like all of her paths to me were fucking really viable. If you wanted to be splash damage, she could absolutely smash, with exception to you maybe downing yourself with on occasion, but towards the end they released a lot of splash damage weapons that just didn't affect you. Great. If you wanted to go complete, complete like tanky shield, and if you have shield, you get a stupid surge of damage or whatever weirdness, you could. That was also viable. Also, there's ways to, like, when you start building to have a tanky god Moze build, an unkillable Moze build, you also formatted your other character, your damage. It wasn't just like, hey, you're a tank and now you're just fucked. It's like, what? If you want to build tankiness, you should also build strength, or at least that's how it should be, I think. But I digress. And then what was and then finally Iron Cub came out, and that also seemed like it could work. Granted, I think like Gearbox should just never make a companion with legs, ever. Like you could have skags, just make them like spectral floating skags, like the skeep. Just give me a bunch of skeeps. Although make them look like skags, not skeeps, because they're like stupid as skeeps. But if you just gave me a bunch of skeeps, or a bunch of skeeps, and they kind of like floated around and like started like dive bomb biting people, that'd be sick. That'd totally work. But Gearbox is always like, we're gonna give them legs, and they're gonna just smash their face against the wall for pathing, or they don't realize that the enemies are running away constantly, so your character runs up to an enemy, hits a wall that they're eventually gonna attack. They do an attack, but because the enemy has to stop to do an attack, they just fucking whiff away. The only way they got around that within Borderlands 2 with Gage is they gave fucking Deathtrap the longest goddamn arms ever, and he still missed a lot of the time. So yeah, damn it. Anyways, we're in a better place. We have pixies. We have guns with wings. I hope we have more fun things. Hopefully things that like summon forth a little tiny goblin. That'd be fun. I really do think they need to like, if Fear Knots or pixie or gun weapon Fear Knots are able to exist, companion weapons, aka, they need to really look at spells. Because like the spells that summon companions make no sense. They're not balanced in the slightest. You'll summon 2 Hydras. I can summon 8 Hydras with 1 Fear Not shotgun and just chuck a bunch of giant ass, fucking deadly ass scaling things. It's what? It doesn't make any sense. So yes. Woody says, day 1 flak, but switch to Moze. Me too, man. Well, Moze is my next character. So I switched to Moze and I got the Hex. That's what I wanted to tell you, Donald. I got the Hex, and dude, the Hex just made me like fall in love with Moze. Because it was for the first time in a Borderlands game, it was like not even close. Like the feeling of gameplay was just different. Like, we're shooting constantly with varying different ways of shooting. It was for the first time where like it felt like in Borderlands had an uncapped skill ability that felt like unrelentingly satisfying. Where essentially, especially day 1 before they nerfed the Hex, you were playing Moze, you would just be chucking, and I had it in cryo, so it was just sick. It was like the perfect outcome because it like kept me alive because it froze people. But I would just, and I think Fluff was playing with me. Fluff, Carthage, and Casper, we were all playing together, or Quiet. We were all playing together. She may have been Casper at that time. Regardless, we were just hucking, I was just hucking a bunch of these cryo grenades, and they was keeping me alive because they were just healing the shit out of me. And you kept health gating constantly, so you were basically an unkillable god. But every single time they hit with their splash damage, they would just regenerate. And it was like impossible to have them not heal you or not give you like a full magazine. So you were just hucking these like death orbs, and it just felt so sick to see like 1,000. We were also playing in like a badass arena, just grinding levels. So there's enemies just kept piling on, and you would see these little orbs just like tether onto some enemy and just go just melt them. You're like, I feel amazing right now. It was so good, man. I hope that's kind of what we feel like with pixies, except it's less visually satisfying to seeing your pixies go like pee, 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 pee. Instead of seeing this arc tethered to them and this little orb just circle around them like a death contract, too good. But that was the day I became a Moze main. Even though she wasn't as much of a personality as I would have loved. I would have loved if she was like a what do you call it? Like a mixture of Krieg and Scooter. In terms of like a mecha weird, not mecha, like mechanic, but that just kind of like, ate too many explosions and brain got kind of gooey. I would love that. But instead, she was kind of just like a hard-ass militaristic lady, which was also charming, but only until the last DLCs did they start to like give her a personality that wasn't like, got it, sir. I'm like, why? What? Okay. A little bit uninspired, but fine. Where is it? There it is. Man, we get so much rings from this. Where is it? Guys, if you were expecting, by the way, to get some sort of new DLC-like weapon, or like ring, we have spent, I want to say 10K maybe at this point, maybe less, maybe like 8K, 7K, something like that. And we have yet to get the weapon or the spell that I most dearly want. And I know it can be attained because others have had it. But I'm sure others are in the same position that I am, where you just keep getting the same thing that you've gotten 1,000 times, and you're starting to judge yourself or the game and think that maybe every single time, every person's save file is locked. And you're only allowed certain things based on the save file allocation. You know, like maybe you're only allowed these certain metrics. I feel like we're kind of crazy, though, and that doesn't make any sense. But, you know, it explains the unfortunate circumstance and or our suffering. So, kind of the way I'm rationalizing my feelings right now, as you having them, okay? As a disembodied, random entity person having them. Can I grab this? I gotta pick up some crap in order to do that. There's another thread there somewhere. I will look at chat in a minute. Oh, I fucking moved as soon as it appeared. Alright. Do we have one more here? Did I pick it up? I picked it up. Also, Fluff, my guy. I just finished watching the most wholesome stream again. Not again, like this is like another version of the Mouse Connor hangout sesh, which you're just basically experiencing a very fun third wheel time. And it was very wholesome. Although he's going away for a month. So no more videos from him. Well, videos for him, but just probably a harder, weird stream schedule type thing. But very cool send-off for his little time away from Japan. If this means nothing to you guys, it's okay. I just wanted to mention how it was one of those things where I was like, this is just very nice. Although Mouse is feeling a little bit sick, so hopefully she bounces back. And yes. There it is. And man, Oil and Spice, by the way, the worst. I'll mention this in an upcoming video. Absolute most underperforming thing. At least for me. I'm sure other people are clever enough to make it work. But yes. Not your boy. We got all the legendaries. Good. The game is lagging because there's so many God rays on screen. Sorry. I always clap. It makes me feel alive a little bit. Like, wake up. Come on. Lone Singed says, Moe's, I felt, was the more optimized, balanced version of Salvador. Yeah, I could see that. I also feel like the guns. I think Moe's had the most time in development, because like if you think about it, Moe's is the same character that they first showcased the new Borderlands engine. So I think they had her in conception for a while, and I think the last character they worked on was Flak, because Flak did seem, at least at the beginning, like things weren't really working very well for him. With the exception of Queen's Call. That kind of helped balance him out, but yeah. Donald says, I feel like Moe's is the easiest to build because everything is... Yeah, that's my favorite part about Moe's. Is that it seems like every path is like, no, it's good. It'll work. And I like how it works in different ways, too. Where it feels like... Well, a lot of the classes like Zane, it felt like you're always building for kill skills and like different kind of surges of damage, you know? Lone Singed says, I wish the counterfeit shield that created a clone of yourself, I wish the clone did something like attack. It would be cool. Yeah, well, it can't just attack. It got scale damage, but I agree. That'd be something nice. Right now, a lot of the legendaries haven't been too... Like, for what we are unattached from the Borderlands ethos. We are in a D&D setting where magic, companions, and summons, and like, spells... and effects across the board can exist, and the best we can do is a Spice AoE hit weapon, which is an exact copy of a weapon that existed in Borderlands 3. So Come on. You know? I can't wait to see, hopefully, in one of these DLCs that there is some different like spells that are not... Well, the spells here are kind of interesting. It's not the most crazy. I'm hoping that they release more companions, more spells that have, like, multiple charges but also hit hard, but maybe that's too much. It'd also be cool if they released more purples, because, like, it sucks, but, like, purples have way more interest, at least to me, than the legendaries that come with all these DLCs, you know? Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta use the washroom so bad. I was trying to catch up on chat before I do that, but I can't handle it. I'm gonna burst the fire. I'll be right back. I'm back. Ooh. Man, I was gonna tell you guys this. Actually, I'm not really sure if I can tell you guys this. I'm in this conundrum right now where I kind of with me doing things like working a little bit this week or last week, quite a bit, and then doing like YouTube things, and that's worked out a little bit on the GRINN channel. I told you guys that like a couple days ago, I basically got my feet swelled up like crazy because I was on them since 8 till 4, doing a giant truck essentially, like doing a decal on a truck. And yeah, my foot like swelled up with a bunch of blood, whatever it is, don't know, but yeah. So I was like, man, I need to look into getting some proper shoes. I also walk on the top of my feet, like the not the heel of my foot, the front part. So I was like, I'm gonna try these new shoes, or I've heard these shoes that are really good. They're very like minimal. They don't have a lot of crazy shit in them, but they allow you to have a huge like clown toe box, like just a huge toe box, so your feet aren't like getting smushed. And I looked into that, and unfortunately, it sucks. They only sell them in the U.S., or if it is in Canada, it's like $300, fucking $350, too much, for these boots essentially. But apparently you can buy things on the like US Amazon.com and then ship them to Canada. But the weird thing with that is that like the shipping is $61, so I'm basically spending like $280, so basically $300. It's still not as much as you'd be buying from these fucking asshole scalper motherfuckers on goddamn Amazon, being like, hey, I have the same boot, but it's for $340. Now granted, what to me it sucks because like the boot's valued at $150. Apparently it's very acclaimed. It's from the people who in my circles. I see plenty of videos people talking about. But I'm not sure if I'm willing to bite that bullet. Now, granted, the people did say that it's a shoe that basically is like lasts forever. So to me, like it sounds fucked up, but like if something costs like $50 or $80, I can spend that like weekly, and I'll be kind of fine. I'll be fine. But when it gets to that 300 mark, even if I made like $1,000 one week, I'm still in my head like that's too much, or like yeah, on top of whatever you would make normally, So I don't know, man. I'm kind of stuck in this like what? Also, what? Dude, wait. Did we just pick this up? Dude, I think we just picked this up because it had an exclamation point on it. I received so much shit from people saying that that's impossible. A fear not that dark magic cannot exist. Bullshit. Let's go. Okay. Yeah, and it's got that weird yellow one. That's the same one that we have in ours. It's the same one that the dog as the thumbnail aggro guy. So yeah, that can exist. Proof now, live. Unless I misunderstood. Yes, it's possible. That had an exclamation point on it. I didn't pick up one of my old gear. You can get a Fear Not that's dark magic. It's just the rarest thing on planet Earth. But it is a heal stick. Also, it's guns with wings. That's huge. Guns with wings is actually really... I may just keep this. Also, it's melee damage. That could work for our Krieg build. If it was only ×2. But yeah, I'm going to make this a clip. Hi, people on YouTube. I'm uploading this to our brother's GRINN channel. Because, god damn it. So many people were lighting me up in the comments saying, this can't exist, that's a modded item. The fuck it is. We got it here live, baby. World first, not world first. not world first. But I'm just happy that this exists. Because people, again, I was getting all the comments in the one video were like, I've never seen it. And dude, I've grinded the fucking pixie thing forever. Like the statue for pistols and trying to get Fear Nots. Never seen a dark magic, but you can get it. This one came from the Wheel of Fate. I don't think that means it can only come from the Wheel of Fate. I think it just means it's an ungodly rare item. But that's nice to see. Cool. Yeah, nice. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of like stuck because this was like something that in the back of my heart of hearts, I was like, can it exist? I've farmed this a lot. And I don't mean I trust, but at the same time, and I was hoping this would happen in a stream where we could have proof. We could have proof that it's working. Also, I keep forgetting to update that fucking sub feed thing. God damn it. Okay, boys. Why did I do that? We need to drop all this stuff. Remember, we're just looking at stuff. That's what we're doing. Let me catch up on chat before I get too ahead of myself. Because everything is viable to her. Lonsky says, I wish the counter field. Oh, right, I read that. Dropped the proper thing. Fluff says, yeah, I played Zane primarily, but I think when we were power leveling, I jumped in with one of the others. Yeah. Donald says, I would love for Zane to become a boss like his brothers were. He definitely had the most personality of Borderlands 3 Vault Hunters. Yeah, man. Well, that was the one thing, Donald, that I always felt like they never captured. They tried to do it, and they did a little bit of it with Krieg. I feel like the Krieg DLC in Borderlands 2 had a little bit of that, like, capturing these, the heart and soul of these characters. But I feel like they were given the express thing of, like, yeah, so you're going to be able to capture the heart and soul of this character, but you're not going to be able to make it mean anything, because at the end of the DLC, everything needs to still sit where it is. So no Maya things, no, like, hint at her being alive, no, what do you call it, Krieg addressing Maya, or sorry, what the fuck, a girl who killed Maya, what's her goddamn name, I don't remember, but yeah, which to me, I was like, okay, it leaves a little bit to be desired. Random status. How many 2 charges? That's got a lot of cooldown. Spell shot Clawbringer. No. Where's the soaked status thing? Crossbolt. No. Bonk? I always say bonk. I'm just gonna say bonk. It is what it is. Range, fire, no. Lich, Greyborn and spell shot. Okay. Wait, gun damage, melee, critical chance. I'm gonna say no. Yeah, if it had better skill points, I'd choose it. Bonk, chaotic, or caustic. Sorry, they're fucking poison. Jesus. We got a thing, a vampire. No. Classic rune thing. Crappy ring. A bullet lash. That. No. Really coming up empty here. Ability. We just spent 2,000 souls, by the by. So. Rain bolt. Lethal something. More lethal something. Tidebreaker. Ooh, barber loaded. Fire Clawbringer. No. Did they fix this, by the way? This has been broken for a hot minute. I haven't heard anything. I think maybe this Thursday the hotfix hopefully will have fixed it. It is bad. I got gun. Actually, well, I don't know if that's gonna be best for it. If it was cryo, I would take it because that'll fit into my next build, I think. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as much as we didn't get locked, I don't think we got anything actually. Is there anything no, I don't think I locked in anything. But we did get a Fear Not. This one I didn't have beforehand. I don't have anything that's not chaotic or volatile, even in my inventory, because it's not viable, essentially. Or not very viable. Actually, I think I'll keep this. This one might be good for my thing. For my my Reaper. It's got guns with wings, so it can detonate some things. Those spells heal you. So it could maybe be good. Yes. Running it back again! Such an exciting time! I just want the spell that has Nova, man. Is this impossible to ask for? Maybe. And we're back. Also, Beastie, the ever-present hype man, says, "Bruh, I feel like a horrible cousin. Why? My cousin's wedding was today, and I had no idea. Sag." Is it? I don't know. Cousins, man, are in this weird, like, timescape of, like, human relations where you have had, like, a childhood with them, probably. Like, you went and visited them. Maybe your mom is, like, her sister's in your same cul-de-sac or in the same city, so you always see each other at the, like, young party, like, when you're younger and you're at birthday parties, you see them constantly. Maybe you have a deep friendship with them. You care for them greatly. But I don't know what it is. There's something about cousins innately that seem like they move apart, like just by is what it is. It seems like they're just like in their own worlds, and it's one of those few times when you see them, they're like right back to where it was. But it still seems like it's I don't know anyone who has like a fucking killer relationship always, like throughout their entire life with their cousin. You know, it seems like I've never encountered that. But yeah. Donald says, "Are you looking for the garlic breath?" Yeah, the garlic breath spell, the one that gets you. Yeah, those garlic breath spell we don't have. I think we're missing a couple things. I think there's supposed to be a shield, right? We haven't gotten any shield. We haven't gotten, we only got one of the legendary weapons, which is the sugar and spice. I think there's 2 legendary weapons and two spells. So we only got one of the spells, and I think there's one more melee weapon. So is that right? So I think we still have yet to get the second melee weapon other than sugar and spice. If there's not any of these, and I'm not sure, so I'm like, but I haven't gotten the other spell, which is garlic breath, from Donald saying that, and then the other one is, I think there's another gun, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think there's just one gun, but yeah, but that's what we're waiting on. But yes, how about you, Donald? Do you luck out and get garlic breath, or is it not able to drop? Because I don't think that's right, because Fluff got it. BC says, "Let's go." Ever-present hype man. World first? I'm not sure world first, but this is like the first. I'll upload a clip to make people say it's real. Stop yelling at me. BC says, "Proof." Donald says, Leech's auger? I think it's a shield, and Butterboom is the other. Yeah, see, I haven't got Butterboom. I haven't got the shield. I'll tell you what I have got, Donald. You can tell me what I'm missing. I've gotten the necklace that like lets you reflect bolts at enemies. I've gotten sugar and spice. No, whatever the like the gas. It's like you put down. It's like the new legendary SMG. That one. We got the new spell that allows you to fire crossbow bolts essentially. And we got the new weapon, Assault and Battery. And then we got the new class mod. But that's it. Oh, and the rings. But that's it. Whatever's left, I've yet to get. So I'm hoping that we can get. I got garlic breath to drop. It wasn't. It just wasn't that good. Yeah, man. I just want to be able to see, because you can like even with like I got 2 of the crossbow bolt mods, like the crossbow bolt spells. Sorry. And they were able to like melt badass enemies within like a couple hits. And to me, I'm like, okay, if it can do that, then it can like probably melt a boss, as long as I have like a primordial version of it. But I only had like I had nothing. I didn't have a chaotic version of any of it. And yeah, granted, I did have a good build, like doing a lot of dark magic, or not dark magic, spell damage. So I was able to like, that was helping a little bit. But yeah. Donald says, I got garlic breath, but it wasn't that good. BC says, you describe our relationship exactly. I grew up with them across the street for the longest. I don't think that's just you, Beastie. I think it's like almost everyone's like relationship with that kind of family member. You know what I mean? Which again, I have like the fondest memories of with me and my cousins. We used to always like my auntie or us would basically travel to each other's houses every Christmas. And then we would open up presents with my cousins, and we would always hang out together. We would do like special things because my mom and her sister were always close, etc. But I think when you get to like 17, 16, you're just kind of like doing your own thing. You're probably going through a lot of fucking angst or some shit, and you're like, I don't know what to talk to about these people. I'm embarrassed. I'm frustrated. I'm not in like the jovial, childlike wonder mood, you know. Donald says, I don't think the shield is dropping right now. I'm not sure, but I haven't seen it or any videos of it. Interesting. So maybe there are some that are relegated to the final hurrah. That's at least something. Something to be like, hey, I do think it would be better if each week there was like a drop. And ideally, like, it'd be cool if each week they would like set off a thing. Well, I think on the side of this, you should be able to like set, take 100 of my souls. Like, just don't let me, like, just constantly going, wish. Like, this takes way too long. Whereas if you could like slap like 10,000 in there or something, or like 1,000, let's not go 10,000, but slap 1,000 in there, and they would just spew out a ton. That would be significantly nice. And if you kept putting more in there, there'd be a higher chance at legendaries, etc. That would be really nice. But instead, I don't know if it does that, which sucks. It feels like you're kind of sitting here for like 20 hours waiting to get as much as you can. Ooh. What is I feel like, boys, this next couple of days is gonna be, next couple of weeks might be pretty sparse in terms of just anything. I mean, granted, there's always like games to play, but I don't know any game that's coming out recently that's I've been hearing anything about, you know. So we may just have to chill for a little bit. Also, do you guys think that Hogwarts Legacy is gonna get delayed? I've heard a lot of people say that like it's getting delayed, no question, fight me. But then they just released like a next gen like video showing all the crazy particle effects that come on next gen and stuff like that. Oh, granted, this Saturday we will be playing. We'll be able to play Let It Die. By the way, we might turn Friday's stream into a play together stream, because I think I want to play Sunday. Yeah, because I'm gonna actually be working on the weekend too again. That's why I was telling you guys it's gonna be weird this weekend. But yes. Donald says, was supposed to have new drops for DLC every week, but it was bugged, I guess. Is that what it was supposed to do, Donald? Because that was, to me, like the thing that I was actually kind of hopeful for, is that every single consecutive week it was going to get like, we were going to get new legendaries that would slowly trickle out to us. That way every week we'd have something to look forward to in every coming expansion. Granted, it's not a perfect plan, because if you're able to get the best version of the legendary within like a couple hours of you just doing decent grinding, then you're just done. Like, you know, like you don't have any incentive. So if they do what they did, which is like relegate a drop per run of a thing and give you a really high drop chance to at least get one of the legendaries, because that's something I don't feel like is the case. We've ran that like 3 times. I've never gotten the spell or the ring. I've yet to get any of that to drop in one of the DLCs, which is that's saying that like this is this week's run's special version of the drop chance. I've yet to get any of that, so stupid, essentially. But I'm hoping that like if they do that, which I would hope that they do, because that's not a bad idea, so we always have something to look forward to every week. If they then supplemented that with having variability on the legendaries, like you could have a spell that could have like AoE, could hit twice. It could give all these cool effects that purples give you, variability. Then I think that would give you many of the best versions of this weapon, you know. But right now, as it is, I think you're going to get like the best version of the spell within a couple grinding things, and you're going to be sheer luck, you know? With exception of doing this. The reason why this is so terrible is just because it takes so long to spin and then look through gear. Like, yeah.
Is there a spell that would let me spin again?
BC says, that would be great. QOL change. I'm shocked they didn't think of that. Which one? Oh, just to give yourself the ability to spend more? Yeah, well, again, to me, man, there's a lot of things in this game where I'm like, I want to make a whole series about, like, this is what you could do that I don't know everybody's heart and mind, but I think this would be something that people would enjoy. But I haven't made the video yet, or the whole series yet, actually. It's also a lot harder than I'd probably giving it credit for, to, like, think of the problem and then think of very good solutions. For not only the players, but Gearbox. Donald says, that's what the notes from DLC 2 say. I know, man, I've seen the same thing, but I was like, everyone was like, what the fuck? Like, everyone made the videos, like, reading the patch notes, and then it's just not that. Like, what the fuck? Donald says that's, oh, it's a thing. BC says, honestly, I'm happy to have a reason to open Let It Die again. I've been getting too used to Elden Ring. I need to bring a little bit of chaos and uncertainty, but certainty BS into my mix. You're a masochist, Beastie, but I get it. That's, yeah, man. Yeah. I am both excited and horrified to, well, actually, no, I'm excited to get to Deathverse. Deathverse, to me, I know a lot of people are, like, seeming like, oh, it's a battle royale, easy dunk, disgusting, you know? So, like, I understand people have that abrasion for battle royales or whatever, but, I don't know, to me, I don't know if it's going to exactly, it feels like it's way more of an arena-type fighter type thing. So, I think people keep throwing, like, shade on it, and I'm like, no, that's fair, you know? Now, my only worry is that Let It Die Deathverse is not going to have any built-in incentives, essentially, which is, I think, is something that I'm not sure if they're aware of to the extent in which was a part of their game's success, which was, it's kind of a new-aged idea that you have, like, a crafting system, and each time you have, like, shitty gear, and then you, by investing in that gear, make it better, different, it levels up, it gets a new aesthetic, and it evolves over time. And the same thing we said for weapons. They become like these, they've got these dinky little cleaver, and then eventually becomes this giant slab of steel. So I hope that there's some sort of way of, like, you grind in this arena, you gain wealth, glory, and everything. And then you go back, right? You go in and you actually, you can level up your gear, you can level up your armor, whatever it is. Or they could have a progression system tied to your husk, your pilot, your body. But also, the only way that would work is if you had to make genuine choices based on the character. And also, if there was, like, an RNG mechanic to leveling up a character, that would be pretty cool too. So every single time you go back from a battle, you have a random chance between two skills, and then you could get one, and you'd have to choose the best one. But then you would basically constantly keep grinding for this, like, ultimate fighter that had the perfect role of all of these things that sequence, whether that's like melee damage, melee attack speed, vampire, or if you had vampire gun, it'd be like, what the fuck? So as long as vampire was tied to melee only, that would be your kind of, like, grind / hunt for perfection. But I don't know if it will have that. If it's just PvP, I don't think that's why people only played Let It Die. Was just that it, like, I just like climbing, and that's it. I think people like climbing, and then to a certain degree, the end game become level up armor, flourish, that kind of thing, you know? Oh boy, my throat's, like, hurting right now. I don't know why. I feel like my sinuses are blocked up. Oh, Deathverse is only 4 days away. Can't wait. Let's do this. Yeah, no, I can't wait, man. I hope it's crossplay. I wonder if no, probably not. It's only PSV. It's only PS4. You can download Deathverse right now, apparently, though. So if you haven't done that, best do that. I gotta remember to do that. If you guys could remind me to do that on like a day before it comes out, to, like, go into my PS4 install all the updates. I have to re-download Elgato because I haven't played a fucking console game in a millennia. So yeah, pain. Lone Sticket says, I think it's more like a battle arena. Yeah, that to me is what it seems like too. I just hope that it has progression, like a meaningful carrot on stick, I guess. BC says, leveling and upgrading was so cool to me. The subliminal change of looking just for it to evolve into something even more awesome and edgy was so damn cool. Yeah, well, I think it helped that all of it looked like shit. Like it's kind of like the contrast principle, which is it like how good something looks isn't really depicted of about how good something looks isn't really about how good something looks. It's like how good something looks relative to the things around it. And there's a thing that's called the contrast principle, Beastie, where essentially if you see something that is gorgeous and then you see something that is average, it makes whatever you see look worse. Just contrast. Same thing as if you see something that looks kind of ugly and then ugly. If you see something that looks average or like normal, you would normally put it as a 5. You would perceive it as way more than that, because what you've previously just seen has been such a low bar that you've perceived the change as massive. So to me, all the armors start off kind of looking schlubby, gross, and dirty. And then all the armor evolves into like, it's funny because all the armor has like one stage of clean. Like it's like always one of the stages is like either clean or like the biggest like dropping of color you've ever seen. Like just an explosion of color. And then like it's funny because like all of the end game armor all has something like in common, which is that all of it seems to get like super loud and neon at its end. Even my favorite armor, which is the fancy armor, is it like turns fucking white and gold, you know. And again, that's one of the things that to me maybe it's way harder to do than I'm giving it credit for. But I would have loved a transmog in Let It Die. I think that would have honestly kept me grinding for another 2 months, because if I could like just take my fancy armor and like then the only goal is to find like the most crazy cracked armor in the game, level that up, and then just overlay the one skin of the armor that you like. Now, granted, I think it'd be cool if they added a progression system in that, where you had to like grind. You had to grind up all the armor at least to its +5 equivalent, so that you could get the like aesthetic unlocked, and then you could slap that aesthetic on something else. That would be fun to me. Oh, how do you guys feel about the aggression change with that? I've seen a lot of people in the comments of that video we uploaded really hyped for that. Yeah, like the idea of there's like this built-in aggression to Let It Die, or like Death Verse, where like it's called voltage, and if you basically start to melee, you'll start gaining health, and that's the best way apparently to heal, is to just start like being aggressive and meleeing, and you'll get health from that. The only thing that leaves me kind of wondered is I feel like it might be very, very annoying and unsatisfying with like getting ganked and or that, which may be like the reason why the devs wanted to go into this realm, is because it kind of embodies the kind of chaos and frustration that existed within Let It Die. The battle royale kind of like getting jumped on by 5v1 at once, you know, that kind of thing. But also that's not like you can't play against that. Like you can be clever and like make sure you're hiding behind corners, peeking corners to see if there's like 3 people charging on, and then wait, and then fucking like stomp on them when they get low health. But also, apparently there's a way to scurry away. Like there's a movement system now in the game where you can like climb walls and stuff like that, which seems interesting. They've done a really good job of like not showing too much, and frankly there may not be that much to show. So hopefully, whatever is there is fun. The Lone Sticker says, "I hope we can play together." Yeah, man, that'd be something crazy. Yeah, can you imagine? That's a co-op system to it. I'm also really interested in the story, man. I have no idea, but I do want to see more of Senpai Death. I don't know if we'll be able to have it. Like, I don't know, because I feel like I'm really curious. The thing I'm the most curious, I think, about Deathverse is I want to know what the actual deal is behind the scenes, because like there's 3 developers working on the game, or working on this kind of game. Like there's Grasshopper Manufacturer that worked with Gung Ho to make Let It Die. But now, Let It Die, or Deathverse, is being held by Super Trig Games, and not Grasshopper. So I don't know is Grasshopper Manufacture is the devs, or is a section of the devs that are now working on, like they departed from Grasshopper and now they're Super Truck Games. But I don't know where MiHoYo fits in this. Is MiHoYo just like the publisher? So they're like, okay, we'll publish both games, but we'll divvy up the team to make Deathverse maybe? I don't know, because I'm wondering if Deathverse basically has autonomy to make a sequel to Let It Die. Or if this is like explicit, like the devs or like the Grasshopper Manufacturer, Gung Ho, were like, no, we'll give you the IP so you can make it a sequel, or you can make another kind of game, but you can't make a sequel because that's our golden horse or whatever it is. And yeah, because it begs the question. Well, I guess maybe that's why. I was about to say, well, why wouldn't they name it Let It Die 2? But it's because it's very different from Let It Die at a base. So maybe that's why. Maybe that's why they're like, no. It's not quite the same, so we don't want to have any sort of like perspective. Also, we also want to make a Let It Die 2 because we know people like it, so we'll kind of keep that in our back pocket. But yeah. But no, I'm curious if like Senpai Death will be a part of this game as much, because he's kind of iconic to Let It Die 1. And I wonder if they're ever planning on making a sequel for Let It Die, they'll be like, hey, be careful. Let's not fuck this up in a way. So let's make you can't have Let It have like 2 teases of death to say that he's existing in the future. But Let It Die 2 is gonna take 500 years in the future or something. I don't know. BC says if Senpai isn't in Deathverse, I'm gonna cry. No, he's definitely in Deathverse, unless the first initial teaser trailer isn't there. Because in the update that we released a couple days ago, Beastie, you can see a decal that is literally called, I think, Senpai DD or DLS or something. Some sort of weird thing. Also, we see Senpai Death on the TV. Now, that could just be literally them being like, hey, this is in the same world as Uncle Death. So he's kind of just like a third party in this thing. But I really hope that there's some reference to what our character in Let It Die did, because like Senpai Death was like a weird yandere, like demigod, if not god, that like was like fawning over a mortal essentially, or like a mortal soul. So to me, I hope they have fun with that. I hope they're not just like, I don't know, Death just kept watching you kill shit forever, I guess. Well, I don't know, whatever. Moving on. I hope they don't do that. That'd be quite disenchanting. Oh, somebody subscribed. Thanks so much, Donald. Appreciate you. Been nothing but lovely having a conversation with y'all. Fluff says, pretty sure Gung Ho is still the publisher. I believe they've simply become a smaller team dedicated to developing Deathverse and probably a future Let It Die products, whilst Grasshopper is moving on. Okay. I'd hope that's the case, man, because to me, I don't know. Yeah. I wonder if Grasshopper completely gave them all the rights and then just stopped. And I'm curious because this is made by the devs who made Let It Die. So this is like former Grasshopper Manufacturer devs. And I love Grasshopper Manufacturer. I don't like all the practices that happen in Let It Die. Like, I'm not a big fan of all the monetary things, but yes, I hope that, well, I don't know. To me, I'm not sure. I'm wondering how much of that was Grasshopper or Gung Ho. I would assume it's probably Gung Ho, and I realize everyone has to make their money, so it's not what I'm saying in a negative context. I just think it's kind of like the same thing of like, I think there's a balance between a good deal and a bad deal, and I think some people don't believe that. Some people believe that like, no, it's just like we're a business, we make money. That's our main objective. Main objective. We'll use a different word. Prerogative is what I was saying, by the way. Where is it? We're running out of time and my voice is going, even though I haven't said anything this whole day, so I don't know why that is. I'll be getting sick. Dude, I've been sleeping like shit recently. Like, I've been going to sleep fine. I just can't, like, I wake up in like a fucking heat frenzy and I freak out and I try like layering my clothes in a certain way, or not clothes, my blankets in a certain way, so I'm not like, I'm trying to diffuse it. But then I wake up cold and then hot and cold. Fuck. God damn it, give me everything, I guess. There's so many tiny little threads. Someone here, apparently. We don't got time for this shit. My God, they're all like they're like literally overlapped right here. Also, we have too many. We'll drop this, we'll drop this, we'll drop this. All of it. Drop it all. Okay. my god, there's still so much here. My like sniping thing was not working, but I'm not sure if grabbing all of it is. Yeah, we just maxed it out immediately. God damn it. Oh, we got a special quest reward, I think. That's fun. I seen red text on that blue. That's why I was like, ooh. Could be a UI problem. It often is, but who knows? There's that. This and then this. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. At this point, I'm just going towards gold. What the fuck? What's in there, man? Give me everything. I fucking hate it. God damn it. It literally, it's like, this is the same thing that exists within everybody. Like, every type of thing happens in this way. Like, when you're having, like, the weird bunnies, same shit. You're stuck in this hell loop of, like, why is everything on, like, did you playtest your game? God damn it. How did someone who doesn't, like, make a competent build not get a decent amount of currency and then, like, shards at the end of a chaos run? And you're like, hey, these are all stacked on top of each other, dude. What is going on? And yet, yeah, it's like, and they're all in the same place. It's like, no, we want you to pick up all of them and then move them. But it's like, but I don't want the blues nor the greens. Let me, like, get a sack that, like, immediately sells an item for, like, 0 money. Like, not 0, but, like, fucking 10 cents. At least then it'll be something. I'll be like a mechanic where you actually feel like loot has some merit rather than you having to pocket it and then sell it randomly. Is it somewhere here? It's hidden behind 1,000 other shards. All right, is this? I'm getting testy, guys. I'm sorry. Just a little bullshit, okay? There we go. So much here still. And we immediately get all of our gear again. Oh! Okay. Also, they could fix this again if they let you just like do a little, like push all the gear around by hitting like by holding down square. You just bat like a, you backhand all the legendaries, spread them out a little bit. Because even if they like get flung off of a mountain, they'd still just go into your lost treasury. Still thread there somewhere. Got it. Got it. I have no space. Oh my god. I mean, we got lucky with so many legendaries this time, but jeez. It was not this bad to like grab them beforehand. It's like the worst weird way of getting all of them to drop. There's some in there. Oh, I seen it for a brief split second. Is this chaotic? No, I've never seen a bazooka really in the game, but granted, I haven't actually paid for a lot of them, so maybe that's why. We're almost done. That could have potential right there. I seen something. Okay, look away from the fucking absolute PC melting light beams. Okay. Whew, back to home sweet home. Chat. Pretty sure Gung Ho is still the publisher. I believe is Grasshopper moving on. Similar to High Rise, split its various games into separate named dev studios, Titan Forge and the like, at least temporarily. Gotcha. Just to see if they could like what do you call it? Have like lightning strike twice. Essentially, is that what the phrase? But he says, yeah, you can get the Deckle and T-pose emote if you play the beta kinda type for emotes now. The character-specific ones were cool as hell to me. Oh, really? Neat. Fluff says, in most cases, the publisher decides to monetize the monetization schemes. Yeah. And the devs have to find ways to incorporate them. Yeah. I say it again, we need a loot filter. But yeah, that'd be great. You know, that's a great idea, Fluff. That would help this problem a lot. Just say everything that's like, whatever to sell. Because like money's kind of inconsequential as well. Also, apparently we dropped our piece of, thing. We got the boot lash. Okay, not very good. Let's see, we got this. Oh, we got it, baby! Oh, we finally got garlic breath. Holy shit. I thought I seen a spell it was that. Let's go, boys. I'm so fucking exhausted. I don't know why. Time to put a clove on. Garlic breath. Let's mark this. Let's slap it on. I hope I don't forget it because it's going to be in my hands. Oh, that was a lot of not good. Lag. That's a pretty good radius, dude. Yeah, it's almost on a 1-to-1 cooldown. Especially if you had like a cooldown build. Like this is all... Oh, no, we do have a cooldown build, I guess. Yeah, 5 seconds. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. What does it do exactly? Summon a pulsating nova around on critical hit, knock step back enemies. Like when the nova itself critical hits? Okay. Huh. Or when you just score a critical hit while it's active. Bet it's not that one. We got salt and battery. Trash. We got another bonk weapon. We got a bunch of horrible, disgusting blues. We also got more rings, ability damage. Rings that aren't chaotic or primordial. Probably not worth looking at, right? Right. Okay. I don't know why. I get so excited by looking at purples. It's still like the most fun because it's like, no. No. You think it'll get like demoralizing after a bit. Also, we are playing on a chaotic level 35, so we should be seeing primordials, but it's a 1% chance. But you know, everything's a nightmare. All that. Bolt lash from ooh. Okay, we'll keep that one. Yeah, spell shot and frost damage. That's not bad at all. Ladies and gentlemen, with all that, we basically just got we got garlic breath. That's huge. We've done it. We've made some dent. Last stream we did get nothing new, essentially, but at least it exists, which leads me to believe. And how long that took, by the way, to get makes me believe that I think everything is attainable. It's just a fucking nightmare to get. Let's go ahead and put that away. And I think we had one more thing, right? That's not it, right? No, I think we just accidentally marked that and that. There was one more thing we had that looked somewhat interesting. Oh, that, right, the necklace. Good. All right, boys, let's go ahead and get to the title screen. Then we'll just wind down. I didn't see all the comments, but I do have to go exercise, so we're gonna wind down. All right, we're gonna do this, and this. Also, there's probably a garlic breath somewhere, by the way. Like I could have attained another way. So, but it is something to do on these streams, which sometimes are a little aimless. Sometimes it's just grinding the things or creating builds back to back to back. You know. Who? BC says, I'm seeing a lot of Spore Warden stuff. I know, man. I'm playing goddamn Spell Shot and Greatborn. What a weird combo. BC says, we need a lot of quality of life improvements in Borderlands games. Yeah, man. Yeah, but this game didn't do a terrible job at adding a lot of them, you know? So I don't want to share on it too much. Fluff says, I believe it's playing Spore Warden. Spell build, the latest weekly event is the favorite class. Yeah, no, this one, this is the Greatborn and Spell Shot. This is not these. I don't have any Spore Warden here, so just getting a little bit unlucky. BC says, I like the mass sell feature though at vendors machines, super convenient. Well, yeah, man, but that would be like, to Fluff's point, I think it'd be awesome if you would sell any rarity that you pick up that's not starred. So if you have like a blue that you want to keep, just star it, favorite it, and then you can just sell all of the gear below your item. Because right now you can't sell. You can only sell gear that you individually go into your menu and then tab all of its garbage, which is just the same as like that same time it would take to do that would be just going to a vendor and selling all your shit manually. Like, yeah, it's like one of the weirdest ads I've seen in the game because I'm like, what? What? Great time to really max out your class, then hell yeah, maybe. Fluff says, most other RPG looter games have loot filters nowadays, both simple and deep versions. Yeah, I don't think, yeah. Also, man, the like, when you are filtering things in this game, I want to filter something by new or recently added. Instead, it's like type, manufacturer. It just seems horrible like that. Stank breath OP. I don't know if it's OP beastie, but I hope it'd be. Hope it's okay. At least it's chaotic. Something. If at chaos level 35, if something is not chaotic or chaotic and really good, then it can exist. If it's volatile and okay, it can kind of get better. If it's primordial and it can kind of, even if it's bad, get by. It does pretty good damage, even at chaotic. It's definitely solid for Stabo and melee builds. Hell yes. With time, everything is achievable. I don't want to hear that, beastie. I want to hear. I mean, actually, I feel like it rings very true. But it's just the expenditure of time that maybe can get you to it a little bit faster. Also, you gotta aim properly. You know, maybe it's not just time; it's aiming at the right things to give you an effect. I mean, yeah. Fluff says selling junk is good, but we need a bit more control, like what he just said. Yeah, I would like that too. A loot filter pickup would be more ideal. Yeah, loot filter, yeah, just to have everything. BC says, that would be significant. Yeah, well, that to me is the hope, because right now it takes the same time to go in your inventory and toggle everything, you know. And maybe an auto sell option for blue and below. Yeah. Fluff says well, honestly, Fluff, in my case, I would be like, can I just sell all my legendaries? Can I just keep my purples, please? Fluff says there's other games that do that a bit at a reduced profit, but it's nice when they're not wanting to spend 10 minutes talking to shop and pit and stop. Yeah. Or like the Torchlight does it, where you load up your pet's inventory and sell them off to sell the junk and buy potions and other consumables. Awesome. Okay. B says, yeah, I agree with it. Essentially, since there's no way to avoid getting a shit ton of low level shit. Yeah, man. Well, again, like that to me is, I just hate the idea that, like, when I see a problem that I think should have been encountered all the time, like if anyone who's playing the Chaos Chambers and they constantly are seeing, like, they're trying to get a good gun, a pistol, so they're wishing for pistols, and there's literally like just a heap of like light beams just shooting out, and there's no way to like accurately pick up the one that you want. Is madness, you know? Like, I wish I could just auto set everything that is blue go into my lost loot tab. At least then you could like obfuscate. It'd be like a weird third party way of doing it, but at least there's that, or at least all of your legendaries would just appear essentially, you know? Or even if you set something like only 10 blues or purples in an environment at a time. Everything else we could shoot into your junk box, you know? Path of Exile both have a very in-depth loot system where you can control with rarities what rarities aren't shown automatically, and if the highlight gear was 1 to 4 affinity and status point. Nice. Golly, that seems specific as hell. But he says, imagine Mush Bro with a little backpack carrying away all of the blues and stuff. Yeah, your little tiny thing, or at least our what do you call it? Our lich having a little tiny purse around its mouth, his 2 giant talons, complaining the whole while. The mushroom would just do it because he loves you. Our lich would be cursing you out the whole time. Or Wyvern with the blues ghost. Yeah. Oh, I forgot about the Wyvern. Yeah. Wyvern would be like a diligent maid. He'd be like, how do I put it? Like a butler. Like, yes, prideful about his work. The perks of Ladies and gentlemen, you've been nothing shy of absolutely brilliant and lovely. Thank you for putting out with me today. I don't know what happened, man. I was doing good at the beginning, then I kind of gassed out. I got hit by allergies badly. My nose is like blocked. My throat's like scratchy and painful. so yes. But ladies and gentlemen, there is a video coming out right this second. It's over at the Brothers GRINN channel. We're talking about the new main big pooba, which is the new DLC weapon, Assault and Battery, with our, of course, Krieg build. If you're interested in seeing what that looks like, it looks pretty crazy actually, especially considering I found a cryo equivalent that does a lot, like a lot, so that's fun. But if you guys want to see that, go check it out immediately after the stream. I'm gonna upload it. I'm off to go exercise. Also, we will not be here Wednesday because of course that is the day where we're gonna be home back. I'm gonna be reading this book again. Hopefully I can make a dent in it. I'm still halfway through it, and it's a whole thing. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Hope you guys do enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate all you guys for putting out with me, especially when I'm not necessarily at my best. But hopefully you guys will be patient with me. Thank you kindly, and goodbye, my friends.